Welcome to Basically Us, Episode 2. This is the show where two friends met online, minted, and decided to make a podcast. Well, today, our friend Bensky has popped off for a slightly dodgy reason, but our new chum, Juan of Juan Makes fame, is chuffed to step in. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick and Brady.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Basically Us Season 2, Episode 2, Try To, of the Basically Us podcast, because I will tell you, I think I have to own this one, and I'm going to introduce our guest host in a minute, but Oz, that one was all me, wasn't it, on this one?
Yes. It didn't record well. It was not even usable.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Do you think that I could go back to Marriott and be like, hey, like, you guys totally screwed up my podcast, and like, you know, you owe me thousands of dollars now?
You could always
like,
try.
In your words, it was dodgy.
Oh, terribly dodgy.
In the internet. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, so welcome to episode 2, Try To. And Bensky was not able to make it today for I think for legal reasons. Nick, I'll have you chime in on that here in a second. But nevertheless, he couldn't make it today. So we have Nick from Juan Makes, and actually the rest of Oz's intro that he normally does matches here because we met online. We've become like best friends. And so give the people your like 30-second elevator pitch of who you are, man.
I am Nick. I am Juan Makes on a lot of platforms, but I am a 3D printer, a cosplayer, a DIYer, just a guy that does all the things and loves to entertain. And whether it be goofing around, making 3D prints, being a little technical, maybe giving somebody a tutorial on how things are done or why they're done the way that they're done.
So you said a little technical. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about a little technical for a moment here. You like rebuild Xbox, which by the way, I still got to get an Xbox controller to you, but you like rebuild Xbox and PlayStation controllers. You do like little servo things. Like, don't you even like professionally do like techie stuff?
There's really not a lot I don't do, truthfully.
Yeah. Right.
I am always open to try something new. My motto with everything I do is you
got to be careful
failures.
about that. Hold on. Welcome to the podcast. You have to be careful about saying, I'm always down to try something new, because I'm telling you right now, viewers on this podcast are going to might come up with some things for you. So just, just telling you.
Look, I'm an open book, man. There's really not a lot I'm afraid of. A few small things here and there in life, but for the most part, I'm willing to try everything at least once and just kind of see where it goes from there. You don't have to love everything, but I think it's best to try it. My motto with everything is there are no failures, just new experiences. And I think that applies to almost everything in life, because you're going to fail at things. That's just human nature. We're not perfect. We're not perfect creatures, and things are going to happen, and it's going to be what it is. You can't control every situation. And those failures are what breed your understanding of how things work and how to move into that next step in your life or in your job or in your hobbies and the things that you want to do. And if you can't step back from that sometimes and give yourself a moment and just understand that you're a human being and mistakes happen, you're going to have a rough time.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like that was a beautiful sentiment, and I agree. And here's the thing. I have a lot of moments where what do you say? Mistakes? It's not mistakes. It's what? It's a learning moment.
There are no failures, just new experiences.
I fucking have new experiences all the damn time. That's absolutely absurd. And you know that, right? Like, so, but here's my question though. So for the viewers out there, tell me how we got from Nick to Juan Makes. Like the viewers need to know this, because I mean, I thought your name was Juan for like the longest time. I even had you in my phone as Juan, and then you were like, hey dude, it's Nick. And I'm like, oh, I better change that real quick. Okay. So how did we get there?
So I was a hardcore gamer for a very long time. All my friends used to say that I was the Mexican version of of John Wick. So okay. I went with the gamer tag, Juan Wick, WHICK. I streamed on Twitch a ton. I was on YouTube. I was posting videos all the time. I transitioned into TikTok, and originally my content was gaming. I was going to just post gaming content, Fortnite, Apex, you know, a lot of competitive games and doing all that stuff. And I found that I just wasn't getting the response that I wanted from it for the most part. And it just wasn't
It's
as
because those
fun as
games are
what it
boring as
started out.
fuck. It's because those games are boring as fuck. That's
If
why.
you suck at them, sure.
Well, and you're not 14, Nick. I mean, come on, dude. Play an adult game. Play some Diablo or like World of Warcraft or something. Jesus Christ.
And seeing those were games that never
Fortnite.
appealed to me.
Minecraft.
And I mean, I play Marvel Rivals now. I've
There we
streamed it
go.
a couple of times here and there.
We go.
You know, but it's part of the other passion that I have, which is my cosplay and 3D printing stuff that I do. And really what that is not necessarily the 3D printing or the cosplay that I enjoy so much. It's the art behind it. It's the creating the thing from nothing to something, taking a raw piece of plastic or an idea that was in my head and turning it into a work of art, something that is a one-of-a-kind item that you will never find from somebody else. Like, nothing that I ever make is replicated from the exact same thing every time. There's always something small or always something different that will always apply to it being just my own thing, whether it's a color or a paint design or, you know, just something different. I just feel like that's my motivation. I love to do customize things. And then I started doing that with Xbox controllers when I was younger, taking things apart, figuring out why they're broke or how to fix them. And it blossomed into this wild thing where I feel like I just can't leave things alone. I have to customize them. I have to fix them. I have to change them. I have to, you know, almost reinvent the wheel sometimes to get what I want.
That's crazy. Yeah, but dude, like, well, hold on. I think Oz got something. Oz, what you got?
He mentioned costumes. From my understanding, he's carved out quite a niche in the 3D printing department.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, I would, Oz, if you haven't seen it, like most of his stuff, I got to tell you, like, where I am the most impressed with the stuff that you do is your level of painting is unmatched. It's unrivaled. I mean, like, it's something that, like, Oz, I know you don't watch like a lot of American TV, but like, you know, like those like restoration shows where they like paint cars and stuff like that, right? It's that level. I
Yeah.
mean, like, he could have a reality show just painting
okay.
like cosplay movie prop stuff. Like, I have stuff around here. It's just not in this part. Like, I have it in display in my office, but like, yeah, it's incredible stuff. Like, the problem is that yeah, I've tried and I keep trying. And the worst part about somebody like Nick is that, like, you try and you get to that level they were a year ago and they've just gotten exponentially better. So like, you're always chasing. So yeah. So yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway.
And see, I feel like the thing there is that, like, it's that trial and error, right? That's what makes you better at the thing that you're doing. And I always strive to push everybody into just try again. Like, it may not come out perfect. If you've seen some of the first helmets or the controllers that I made, you would be shocked. I mean, the level that I was at when I first just wanted to give it a whirl was nothing close to where I'm at now. But my thing is I genuinely look at things sometimes and I feel like they could still be a lot better. And like, I have people tell me all the time, like, man, this is super, you know, this is way up there. Like, the quality is great. And in my brain, I'm always looking at all the little negative things because I'm a perfectionist. So I'm always wanting to make it better and better and better and better. But I just think
that's
it's
any
like,
artist though. I think any artist is going to do that though, right?
I think true artists, that's what it is. It's a desire that strive to be better than you were yesterday. Right. And to get your art and your work out there, I think is more important to most of us than
well, you do the same thing about like me doing videos though, right? Is that I'll sit there and like tell you guys in a group chat that like my video was terrible, and you guys are like, no, dude, like, it was good. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, well, the lighting was off or this was off, and like, you guys are just like, no, like, trust me, it watches good. Like that one I did with my daughter and I when we rope dropped Tiki Room, right, at Disneyland. Like, I hated that video. I loved the message of that video, and I loved the fact that I got to spend some time with my daughter and do a video, but like, I hated everything about that video. And like, down to the light turning on when like she woke up the show, right, along with the music, I know that there's like an 1/8 of a second miss there. But like, everybody else is like, no, it's like perfect. Like, what are you doing? Right. So like, I get it. I totally get it.
And I think when you critique your own craft like that, and that's where you are, like, you're at a level where you've done this for a long time. You understand lighting, you understand audio, you understand all the pieces and parts that go into all of it. And as you learn more and you grow more, it's exactly that. The mistakes that you've had in the past with those items, you've learned from that. And now you know, and you see it in other people's videos, and you're able to guide people in the correct direction to kind of get them there. I mean, it was like when you sent me my mic, right?
Yeah, I was
My
about to say,
video
I'm an audio
quality,
bitch. I'm an
my
audio
my
bitch. I'm
audio
like,
quality
dude.
was 10 times better. I mean, from something so minute, and I
Oh,
never
God.
noticed it, and I never paid attention to it. But after that very first video of having that audio quality, I was blown away. I mean, it changed everything in my head for
Oh yeah,
where I
and that was
was.
the thing, is that like I argue to this day, and Oz, you're probably with me out here on this one, is that if I was going to have shitty audio or shitty video, I'm going to have shitty video all day long before I have shitty audio.
Quite right. Yes,
See,
audio over video any day.
and Oz is gonna
Now,
have to fix his mic because he is tinny as shit today. I don't even know what's going on with him today.
Really?
Yeah, it's tinny. I don't know. It's tinny, Oz. Like you normally have that like volume is like I'm the English
Huh.
version of
Oh.
James Earl Jones video, mouth and shit. And then today it's like
I'll have to fix that in
anyways,
post.
hey, so okay. I
so you've been
have
gone.
been
You've
I
been
have
gone.
been gone. I have been gone. Okay, so like here's the thing. I'm not lying when I say this, and I'm not being facetious, and I'm not being like overly dramatic like I am for videos. I swear to you, I thought that I was gonna die. I'm not joking. Like I like literally became okay with that was the end.
Now was it like cough sick? Like just was it body aches? Was it fever? Like what were you feeling like?
Okay, so we recorded the podcast in Jersey, right? And like my audio got screwed up, I guess, or whatever. And so like I was in New Jersey for work. So on the way home, so I had like a little bit of a sniffle. Everything was all good, right? Like I'm like, it's a sniffle, who cares, right? I get on the plane. And so I get on the plane. We're 20 minutes in the air, Nick. 20 minutes in the air. And the right side of my face goes numb.
Oh,
Like now I'm thinking I'm having a fucking stroke, right? Or like
on
that
a plane.
Bell's,
On a plane.
what is it? Yeah, on a plane, right? Like I'm
Bell's
freaking
palsy.
out now. 20 minutes in it. It's a Bell palsy, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
yeah,
I'm having like a Bell's palsy thing. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then I like start to freak out. I don't care about the seatbelt sign. I stand up because I'm like going to just jam to the bathroom. I think most of the time those like airplane bathrooms have a seatbelt in it to be safe or whatever, right? And I stand up and now I know what the problem is because now my face is like about to explode. Right? Like about to explode, just on fire. And so I'm 20 minutes into a 5.5 hour flight with this happening. And I think I'm like having a stroke. Then I realized like I'm just having like what I thought was a sinus infection. And the sinus infection, like, dude, I looked like I looked like a substance abuse addict that like hadn't had my fix, right? So, dude, I'm like sweating my ass off, right? I'm sweating my ass off. I'm shaking. I can't get warm enough, right? Like I'm freaking out. I'm fidgeting with everything, just trying to get my mind off of like like I don't know if you've ever had a sinus infection that feels like your teeth are going to explode out of your mouth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I've never had it before. So like my teeth, and then like these are all fake. So like it was just like that pressure only on like 2 or 3 points, too. I mean, so like.
Oh,
Oh my God, it was
like
hard.
hyper
Like,
focused in that area.
dude, yeah, of course, right? And so like now I'm
Oh,
like freaking out. And so anyway, we finally like okay, and this is where I'm like kind of like a little bitch, right? Like I was in the military, I deployed, right? And I'm about to have them down this damn plane for like this fucking sinus infection that I'm having at this point, right? Because I'm sitting
having
there
a
going
panic
like,
attack.
yeah, dude, I'm sitting there going like my face is numb, my head is like on fire, so like obviously my face isn't numb enough for me not to fucking feel this, right? So it's just like that, like, and then I can't stop thinking about it. There is like no good movies to watch. My headphones aren't working. Like everything is like just piling on to where like this is a fucking nightmare at this point. So then I finally like have to convince myself. I'm like, hey, you're tougher than this. You don't need them to land the plane somewhere in the middle of America to get you off just to go to the hospital. So like I just suffer through it for 5.5 hours. I get off, like I queue my car up like to meet me at the front door. Like, and I was like, I literally faked the Tesla app. I shouldn't have done it, but I faked the Tesla app. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, because you're supposed to watch your car. I'm not watching this damn thing at this point. I'm like, fucking pick me up at the front. And I'm like, just pedal to the metal to like a Walgreens. And I get to a Walgreens and I get like
So you
some
went
Sudafed.
straight from the plane to a Walgreens.
No, I went from the plane, parking lot, Walgreens, straight to Walgreens. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, I got to get something, right? And so I got a Sudafed. And like, by the way, have you ever bought Sudafed?
I haven't. I don't think I've
Okay.
ever needed to.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about buying Sudafed. It would be easier for me to get meth.
Just locked
Yeah.
down like in the
Dude.
cabinet and you have to go get somebody.
Nick, I'm not joking you. You got to go to the pharmacist. You have to tell them why you want it. Then you have to give them an ID and they have to scan it at a different register or at a national registry. They have to make sure that you haven't got it before. Or nobody at your fucking address has got it before. And all this other crazy. It is absolutely. And the whole time I'm sitting there trying to be nice, right? Dude, and you know that I'm kind of like a hyper person, right? And I'm sitting there going like,
Yeah.
fucking come on. Like so I take the
Well, and
pill.
also you don't feel good. So you're like,
yeah,
you know, you want
Right.
it right now. Like you're not in the position to feel like you need to wait. Like it needs to happen.
And I'm in the middle of the hood Aurora too, on top of that, right? So here I am dressed from work in a Tesla in the middle of the hood Aurora, Colorado, getting Sudafed, you know, and I get why. Now that I think about it, I get why they were a little questionable because I looked like a meth addict. Oh my God.
I mean, it might have been the disheveledness, but also being in a suit, you know, that kind of like I might have mugged somebody on the side of the road to get this on my way here so that you may not question me to, you know, pick up the amphetamines and whatnot.
I don't remember the transaction completely, but like, because I was just in so much pain, but like, I'm wondering if I was going, I just need Sudafed. Come on, give me Sudafed quick.
Why immediately did I just go to this like Dave Chappelle skit where you're like, hey, maybe, can I?
Sudafed. Right? Oh my God. Okay, dude, that might have been the problem. But anyway, short of the story, I get the Sudafed and I'm like driving home, and Castle Rock is probably like about 30 minutes between like Denver and like home. And I'm going along, and all of a sudden, dude, I hear this. Oz, you're probably gonna have to turn my mic, but like then make sure to turn it back down so we don't ruin audio here, right? But it was like, and all this pressure relieved, right? And so I'm like, okay, good. I'm happy. Like I'm finally like the pressure's relieved. I get home. That's when the body aches start. Body aches go for 5 days. I was just like laying in bed, like trying not to die. But luckily, the whole, I didn't think I was going to die after like I knew what I had. But like on the plane, when my face went numb, dude, I thought I was going to die. Like no joke. I thought I was going to die.
Well, I mean, middle of a plane, having that experience, I feel like that's a high anxiety situation when you've never experienced it before, especially.
Dude, it was crazy. I'm like, my face went numb. Have you ever had a sinus infection make your face go numb?
I've never experienced it. And I know people that have had Bell's palsy before, actually. Like somebody like close family has actually had that happen. And I mean, they went months where they, you know, the whole side of their face was droopy. They couldn't control it. They were drooling, like the whole 9 yards. It's a crazy experience.
We wouldn't be having the podcast, I can tell you that.
You could just be like half framed out the whole time like this.
Yeah, just like, yeah, like, there we go. Right, like that. Now, Oz, you're old as shit. So, like, have you had a sinus infection that like made your face go numb?
Oh, yes. On flights, yes. I'm very prone to sinus infections. It's no good for me.
What do you do?
Oh, I usually keep a little kit with me. Some Afrin. Got some Tylenol sinus. Then run to the loo and take care of things.
That like addictive stuff?
Yeah.
That like you get double stuffed up from it? Does it work?
Oh, very much so. Definitely.
Oh, we need to talk after this. Then you're gonna have to help me set up a like. What about carrying like one of those like squeezy neti pot things?
I've never been into neti pots. Kind of strange.
I feel like that was just really impractical.
Squirting things up your nose.
I think that like, how would you use plain water? Isn't plain water like disgusting?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like the tap.
No way it's potable.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably been in the tanks for a long time.
No way it's potable.
It's not potable, right?
No.
It's not potable.
It can't be.
Can't be.
No.
Okay.
And then at altitude, I feel like that also makes a difference for some reason, like trying to blast water up your nose.
Yeah, I just don't know anything to relieve it. Like, dude, I swear to you, I could have used like a corkscrew at this point. Like, it was so bad. Like, but you know what's funny though? Plain water not being potable is a fun fact. But guess what, though? I found something out that was absolutely mind-blowing this week. And I'll shut the fuck up before you even say anything, because I already know that you know this. So
I feel like he knows everything.
He does know everything. And then anything he doesn't know, he's got like these quick little fingers that type super fast. And like he can always look it up. Like he has like 85 screens and like a AI program that no, it's not an AI program. He just knows what we're going to talk about because we're idiots.
I mean, he is the great and powerful Oz.
He is the great and powerful Oz. But so, okay. So let's talk about this real quick.
Okay.
You know a lot about art, right?
I know enough to be dangerous. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Vincent van Gogh is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you know who Leonardo da Vinci is?
Yeah. I would. I mean, he was one of them. But yeah, I do.
Okay.
Very familiar.
So then you would say, if you know those people, then you would know who Pablo Picasso is.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. When do you think Pablo Picasso died? Just throw out a guess.
Wow. I don't.
It doesn't even have to be like super close.
Picasso would have been probably early 1900s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so too. Oz, when did Pablo Picasso die? Because I already know you know.
The 70s, maybe 73,
Yeah,
74.
fucking 1973. 73. Pablo Picasso died in 1973. My man was watching baseball. Pablo Picasso was in the 70s. My man, are you serious? Made it through World War II. The 70s.
What?
There's
no damn way that.
Yes. 100%.
That
Oz, am I wrong on this?
You're very correct.
I thought he was a Renaissance painter.
Look,
could have swore.
April 8th, 1973.
No way.
So that motherfucker was signing autographs, Oz, in 1972? Like, are you serious right now?
He was
probably
91, I believe.
For like a DNR order. But yeah, Pablo Picasso, 1973. I was blown away. Like, it was one of those moments that you have and you go, huh? The fuck? Like, that was life-changing. I've told everybody that I know this now.
That's okay.
First, I need to correct your pronunciation on Van Gogh. Just P.S., by the way, as you Americans say. Anyway.
See, this is what I get.
Picasso had 45,000 paintings in his home at his moment of death.
So did that make the price of Picasso's go down?
I would not think so. Once you die, I think you're kind of set at the price.
Well, what was the painting that he was famous for?
Picasso?
Yeah.
Sorry. My brain was going to get Van Gogh. So, you cheeky git.
I feel like
you and your marbles.
Picasso was a lot. I think it was more his technique that was important versus his actual artwork.
Yeah, but there was one that he was extremely famous for. It was an impression. He's an impressionist, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Black and whites were his thing for a while. Civil War was one of his paintings.
Oh my God, this makes total sense then.
The old guitarist was Picasso. You remember the guy, kind of ugly, holding the guitar upright?
Nobody knows that fucking cultured shit. What?
He had a Civil War painting called, can't remember, it's Guanica, I think.
He wasn't around during the Civil War, right? No, he wasn't. Couldn't. There's no way.
Did this in the 30s, I believe.
Anyway. 1930.
I mean,
of course,
regardless, the fact that he was still around, that's insane. I mean, to really think about, because I feel like a lot of things are that way. Like, you remember things, the Mandela effect, right? Like, everybody remembers the thing that was a thing, and then they remember it incorrectly, or they remember a part of it that maybe wasn't exact to what it was.
Bro, this one I just feel was bad on the American school system, because they talked about Picasso along with Rembrandt, right? Did I pronounce that right? Rembrandt.
Cheeky today, aren't
Van
we?
Gogh.
It's Rembrandt.
Yeah. Van Gogh, Rembrandt.
Right.
Marbles in the mouth.
No, dude, you should say "isn't it." He hates it.
Well,
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Isn't it, Brev?
See?
I
Look at
will
him getting
not
all
stoop
mad.
to that level, isn't it?
He gets all mad about it. But no, like but no, anyways, like during like with all the Ninja Turtles too, right? Like Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello,
That's
like all
probably
of them.
why. That's probably why
Yeah.
Picasso wasn't a Ninja Turtle.
It was wild. So anyway, that was my fun fact, Nick. So like, what do you got?
I have a fun fact.
Yes.
And this is more related to my stuff, right? This is a Marvel fun fact. And
Oh,
if you're not a comic book guy and you didn't read a lot of the comic books back in the day, you probably wouldn't know. Do you know what color the Hulk originally was?
the Hulk originally was, well, he wasn't originally red. And if he was, well, I mean, obviously you're asking if he was, because obviously he wasn't green, right? It's not a trick question. I'd be pissed if you brought a trick question. And yellow Hulk became a thing for a while. And then you're an asshole for this because guess what? I'm colorblind, motherfucker, and you know it. Like, even if I saw it, I wouldn't know. Give me what year did the Hulk come out?
You know, he might have came out around the time Picasso was
It
still
was the
around.
60s, I believe.
It was very early. He was one of several very early comics, but
I'm gonna
he
say
adapted
something crazy.
originally.
I'm gonna say something crazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna say purple. Like he was like a big ass like swole grimace.
So the Hulk was originally launched as a gray character.
Oh, okay.
And due to a
He still is
printing
gray to me.
error, due to a printing error, his comic bled green into the gray, and they did not have the funds to reprint all of the comics. So they left the green in, sent the comics out, and when those comics went, everybody loved it. It was like, you know, the Hulk is gamma radiation, and that is where they brought in the green, and it stuck, and it never
Is that why
changed
gamma
after that.
radiation's green? Is because of that comic book?
Probably.
Because you know, gamma, and no matter if it's DCU, MCU, even like movies like that don't have to do with that, gamma radiation's always green, which I always thought was funny because like radiation actually, what's that effect called? Oz, the light effect from radiation. Do you know? It's something of, oh god, what is it? Nick, do you know? The light, it's called the Coriolis effects for sniping. What it oh god, what is the name of it? But anyways, it's what gives off that blue hue. It's the effect that gives off the blue hue. So like radiation normally is blue, and it is a natural phenomenon.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they gravitated towards the green, but it was 100% an error in the printing, and they didn't have the funds to reprint the entire comic book. And they left it, and apparently when it hit the public, they loved it, and they decided to stick with it. So that's why the Hulk is green.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh, Cherenkov radiation, the Cherenkov effect, by the way.
I did not know that.
The Cherenkov, it's a phenomenon that gives off blue radiation, which that I always thought was funny because like, well, growing up in Michigan and Florida, you get to be around nuclear power plants. And of course, like, by the way, shitty parents. Let's talk about shitty parents of like letting your kids tour radiation zones like nuclear power plants, right?
That's fine.
But I don't
They
know if
gotta
I'd
learn
let my
somehow.
kid go. I don't know if I'd let my kid go nowadays. To be honest with you, I don't know.
You gotta let them make
As a
their own
parent-
decisions sometimes. You know, spread their wings, leave the nest.
Yeah, I'm just not trying to come back, have my daughter come back and like stick to the ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
Look, it worked
I'll
out
read
fine
too
for
many comics.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that was like a once in a lifetime thing. I'd probably get stuck with like my daughter like being like water but can't hold on to like, you know, can't
Like
can't
the
hold her
worst
shit.
possible superpower.
Yeah, like that dude from X-Men, right? Like
Wonder
You know,
Twin powers
yeah, just it would be horrible.
activate.
Either that or
Wonder
she would just
Twins.
be more of a smartass than she already is.
Form of
So
water.
yeah, like no thank you. Or she could read my mind, which that would be terrible. If any of my family members could read my mind, like
Oh,
that would, oh my god.
like
that would
I
be
feel
so
like
bad.
that's the next process in evolution, and once that hits, we're all in a lot of trouble. a lot of
Yeah,
trouble. Like, imagine
probably.
your thoughts being broadcasted almost immediately. Like, it's almost like when you look at like social media, right? You're in the middle of a conversation and you see all these comments and these things that people are saying, and then all of a sudden there's that one guy. There's always that one fucking guy that's got to say the thing that just doesn't need to be said out loud, right? So you look at like,
Oh my God.
and you
Yeah,
see it a lot in like female content creators, right? And this is an experience that I can pull from recently because there was a female content creator that posted some content, um, tighter clothing, and people just for whatever reason can't hold back. There's just zero fucking filter on the internet, and I get that, like, you kind of have to understand that it's gonna happen, right? Like when you
right.
post things on a social media platform for the entire internet to see. The internet is a ruthless fucking place. It is not a
Oh,
place for
I've
the
been on the
weak-hearted.
receiving end. Trust me. I got you.
Well, I mean, you wore that Spider-Man shirt and you knew better. Nobody
Oh,
trusts a guy in a
jeez.
Spider-Man shirt
It was
giving
like
out advice.
300 comments, man. Like
It
300
it
comments of
was
how
pretty
shitty of a
brutal.
person I am.
It was
Like,
pretty brutal. And really, you weren't saying anything that was that horrible. It was just
yeah,
that, like, I feel like sometimes the internet has zero filter and they give zero fucks.
that's
And
so
you
true.
have to, as a content creator, understand no matter what platform you're on, nothing feels like it's off limits most of the time. I mean, you
Well, and
have to have
I'm
thick
probably
skin.
guilty of that. I'm probably guilty of that too, though, right? Like, and we'll talk about this situation here in a second because people have to know what good old Nick did on this one. I can't wipe it out of my brain, dude. Like, I don't know if there's enough booze in this house for me to actually like drink that away.
Look, I
And
gotta be honest. I
oh,
the second that I hit post on that video, I like mentally I had to shut down for a minute because I'm like, this is so
yeah,
far out of my comfort zone.
dude.
Um,
But so here's the thing though, like getting into it, like I say what I'm thinking most of the time. Like I know that like the true thing that you're supposed to do is think with your mind, not with your mouth, right? And like I think with my mouth a lot. So that's why like I'm armored for like, dude, like I was reading through those comments and just was like having a blast when I was just getting like I was a piece of I was a piece of shit husband. I was mansplaining. I
that was my
needed
favorite
social
one.
media.
That
I
was my
needed
favorite one. That
what
and the
was it?
Spider-Man comment.
Yeah, I needed media training. Um who the hell was I? I don't deserve a follower, let alone 21,000 follower. Like it was bad. And I was just sitting there just laughing my ass off and like this, look if I got you. But anyways, so now you are talking about like one of our friends like on TikTok and she wears the same outfit in every video. Like I don't
Yeah,
know why
it's
this
it's
just
not
immediately
like it
came
was
up.
a completely different outfit. It's the same thing. If you go back and look at all her content from the start, it's the same stuff. I mean, obviously different outfits, but it's generally the same thing.
Yeah, it would be gross. I would have said something if it was the same outfit. I mean, like, damn, dude, like,
Just
come on now,
never
wear
change
something
clothes.
different, right? No, but okay. So like the best way to describe what she was wearing though is like a sports bra and like is it hot shorts? Is that what the modern? What is it like
I,
yoga shorts? Is that what it is?
I call them volleyball shorts. I've got
Okay, yeah. I mean,
7 girls in my family, like daughters, stepkids, and then my own daughters myself, and they're volleyball shorts essentially is what they are. I mean, they're tight, they're short. They can be revealing in a way sometimes. I think it's just angle and color sometimes makes a huge difference. But I feel like in those same instances, like focusing so much on what somebody's wearing just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Like I rarely notice a shirt or a pair of pants or like that's not my focus when I'm watching social media content, especially. I could care less what the fuck you're wearing most of the time. I mean, unless it's something so crazy and so out there, like something netted that you can completely see through. Yeah, I don't want my kids seeing that content or whatever, but it
like
wasn't
the
anything
Kanye
out of the
shit.
norm. Yeah. Oh boy.
That was
That
wild,
was
by the way, at the Grammys.
unreal.
Wild. Okay,
Unreal.
so you and I, and definitely you blew me out of the water on this one. You and I decided we were going to have some social justice here, right? And we were going to do videos. And so I did a video in like a crop top shirt, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I read mean comments, like mean tweets, right? Like the mean
Yes.
comments, and totally outed the people by putting their ads, like
100%.
and tagged them. But so then you say, Brady, you did an okay job. but I am going to fucking absolutely destroy any chance of your video doing well because I'm going to go like Dread style on the internet. So talk to us about what you did in your video.
Okay, so I stepped back from that situation, right? And when I first initially seen the video, I seen the comments and I just scrolled by. I didn't say anything, and I was like, you know what, this just seems inappropriate. And so I moved on. And then I started to notice all the backlash, and then she posted another video, and you could tell she was affected by it. She was very strong about it. She just said, look, I'm not going to respond to the negative comments. I'm going to stop deleting them. I'm just going to stop responding to those. So as I stepped back and looked at it, I'm like, man, if that was my daughter, I'm ready to throw hands, right? Like, I don't want some 40-year-old man commenting on the way my daughter looks and pointing out,
why I gotta be 40 there,
rather,
bro? Why I gotta be 40?
it
Come on, why you
seems
gotta
like
throw out
that
40 like that's old? Oz, you're like 85. So like like why don't we go there?
it's not that
Like,
it's not
but it's
that part
40.
of the age, like that it's old. It's just the discrepancy to me that it just seems like there's a group of male individuals that, for whatever reason, go 110% on the no filter on their comments.
Let's be truthful though. Nick, hold on. Let's be truthful because there were some catty bitches in there too.
Oh,
There
wait,
were some
whoa.
catty
Look,
bitches in there too.
I feel like
For real.
I feel like there's definitely a level of this, and we talked about this, right?
Yeah, there was some
There
parents in
is
there.
there are women, for whatever reason, because they're not any different in men in the same scenario, that occasionally when someone is getting attention, for whatever reason, it seems to really irk other females, and it pisses them off to the point where they will make, degrading comments, and they will say things snarky, and they will straight up just go out with calling someone a hoe or a slut, or, whatever derogatory
some of the
form they want to
words
throw out there.
some of the words they used, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in the 20s. We'll get to that. But okay, so you did a video, Nick.
Yes.
Like, stop skirting the subject here. You did a video, right? You did a video, and if you don't explain it to people, I'm explaining it. And Oz, just get ready for the beep button. And we don't even beep things on here normally. So go.
I stepped back and I said to myself, how do I bring attention to this?
No, you did.
In a subtle way, but right in your face.
Not subtle. Not subtle. It was definitely in your face.
What's the most subtle way but to dress exactly in the same sportswear?
Yep.
And place myself out there with roughly the exact same video. I was describing a 3D printed item that I had made that I was very proud of, the same that she did, which was really all her video was about, was how proud of the big print that she had made and done
big
herself.
Print. That's what we're talking about, is a big print.
Huge print, and it's the big things that,
it was huge.
Those,
not a print.
It was gigantic, really, when you think about it. And so it's one of those things where I stepped back, I looked at it.
Stop
and I said,
skirting the problem, Nick. Of what
I put on leggings, Brady.
I
put on leggings,
but they're
really tight leggings. They were my daughter's. They were super tight.
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, Nick.
Okay.
There happened to be
you're talking about the bat nipples.
No,
I did cover up the bat nipples.
No, I'm talking about Nick,
because I didn't want Bensky getting all worked up.
For people watching, and I have to know if this is a prosthetic at this point. Nick has a third leg. I mean, it's knee. It's down to the knee, like, area. Like, I thought the Batman bulge was bad enough, and then the Nick bulge when he's wearing like a half shirt and like these leggings, and like, I'm just saying, it was.
I believe that Brady is inquiring upon the measurements of your nether regions.
There we go. If we're gonna do it, I mean, at this point, dude, like, was that you?
Really sure
was that
what
all
it
you,
is
Nick?
that you're.
Hold on.
I'm not really sure what it is you're talking about. I feel like
I need to know. I need to know. Is that you? Was that you, or was that a sock? That looked like, because it was like, I'm just gonna say, if it wasn't you, then good. If it is you, probably gonna get checked out. That's pretty asymmetrical. That's all I'm saying.
Well, look,
it was pretty asymmetrical.
And I made it pretty clear in my video. I said, look, everything you see here is anatomically correct. I mean, the Batman, 100% huge, over 6 feet, which is what Batman is in the comic books. Broad chest, broad shoulders, very thick thighs. And, most of what he is there was modeled directly after me.
That thing is a registered weapon, Nick, and it
Mhm.
would probably help you do squats in the gym. That's all I'm saying. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving past the absolute like Oz, you got something to say.
Are
What do
we
you guys say?
being deliberately discreet about the young lady's name, or
Sure.
would we like to send some love her way?
I think personally, I spoke with Erica herself, and I said, "Look, here's the deal." We talked to her in a group chat. I said, "Look, here's the idea." I pitched it straight to her because I wanted to make sure that she understood I wasn't attacking her in that video.
You're
I
attacking
wanted to make
something
it
in that
very
video.
clear that I was like, "Hey, look, here's the deal. I'm on your side with this. I feel like the comments were derogatory. Some of them can be, you can be playful, but there's a line, and that was definitely crossed on multiple occasions. I seen some of the private messages that were sent directly to her. Unreal. Like I didn't think people talk to other people like that in real life. Like I get the stuff that comes through people's heads sometimes, but that shit was wild. But I want to definitely shout out Erica. It's Erica Prince on TikTok, and she's got some great content. She's doing some really cool stuff in the 3D printing industry. She's working on recycling filament, which there's not a lot of people out there doing right now. And I think that's a big step in the right direction. But my concern was that like her content completely got overlooked there. Like her entire 3D print got no attention. That wasn't what anybody in there, I mean, there were a few people in there that were like, that's great. Happy to see somebody doing this. But,
Yeah,
I think
and
she
the
deserves
comments
some.
were gross, and I know we got to move on, but the comments were gross. But here's my thing, though. I do want to like bring up one thing. Is that the whole commenting like that, I've never understood it, right? And you guys have definitely been in social media longer or more than I have, right? Like I know like Oz, you do like Discord and stuff like that, and like Nick, you do like Discords, and like I don't get on Facebook and stuff like that. But my thing is though is that like at what point did a comment like that work so people continue to do it? Right. I think of the same thing as like catcalling, like when you're walking down the street, right? Like I always think of Jay and Silent Bob, where he's like, hey baby, you ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat? Right. And I'm like,
Look,
do comments like that work? And then on top of that, eh, the word cooter, by the way, that one, I don't know why I had to stop. And I have takes on this, right? Like if we ever have a Patreon, you will see takes on this because I could not say that. I can't say that word. I'm like, who the fuck uses that word? It's like, it feels like the 20s, right? And like, I don't know. Anyway, I just don't, who in the fuck, like, I have never like, Nick, you're a good-looking guy, right? And obviously, we see other things that you're working with as well, too. So I don't think you've had a problem with the ladies. And I like don't think that you've ever had to use a damn girl, you look so fine, blah blah blah. That doesn't work. So for any guys listening, if you're a sick, disgusting motherfucker, guess what? The shit doesn't work. Try something new. How about try
I,
be a decent human being?
I feel like there's an old saying that's something like 60% of the time it works every time. And
It
and I
doesn't
feel
though?
like in this situation, I feel like it's more of like 0% of the time it
No,
works every
because
time.
here's the thing though. I'm going to mansplain real quick and I'm going to give advice to ladies too as well, right? I'm accused of it anyway, so it's double jeopardy at this point. But
Go put
ladies,
your
so guys,
Spider-Man shirt on.
stop. Yeah, guys, stop saying those things. And women, if you are one woman that absolutely fed into something like that, then you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. It's disgusting. Like oh my God. Anyways, so we'll get past the member discussion
There is
that you
another
have.
member that we could talk about, and
Yes.
that member
Yes. Finally, we're gonna get
is
to like yes.
the new Captain America. Like
Yes.
not the Captain America everybody's familiar with, right? There's Captain America,
Nope.
Brady's Bensky's favorite. I mean, I have never seen somebody love Captain America more than Bensky.
Dude, he hates him, but he loves Sam Wilson, Captain America. Weirdly enough,
Well,
and like,
and I think it's because, and Bensky said this a bunch of times in our group chat, and it's
fuck
been a
Bensky,
topic
by
of
the way, for not
conversation.
showing up today. Fuck him.
I miss him. I miss him a little bit.
Mm,
Um,
whatever.
he always felt like Captain America was selfish. And I can see that perspective. But I do like this transition into someone else
Nope.
taking that mantle a little bit. I feel like it
Makes
brings
it-
a different perspective to the character, but it's really hard as a Marvel fan that started when the Marvel franchises were just comic books. it's really hard for me to step back and see somebody take over that, because I feel like those roles, when they're filled, you get so comfortable with that character. It would be like somebody stepping in and trying to play Iron Man now. You can't have somebody else do that.
Oh,
That's
give it
Robert
time.
Downey Jr.
Give it time.
But and I think you'll get the same response that I think you're seeing here, is that not a lot of people love it.
So
I
I'm going
think
to
it's
say
kind of
this.
like a 60-40 thing.
Oz, I'm 100% on pre-calling movies being bad, right? Right now, so far, I'm 100%. I am going to say that this is going to be one of the worst bombs of 2025 there is. And the only reason why people are going to like it is because we haven't had like decent Marvel in a while, but it's not going to be as bad as like say Ant-Man Quantumania, but this movie is going to be shit in a bucket. I promise you. It's going to be a dumpster fire. Promise you. Promise you.
I think so. So did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, watch. Is it the Russos? Is it at least the Russo brothers doing it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oz,
Yeah, I
can you look
think
it up and see if it's the Russo brothers doing it?
I'm pretty sure that. So I did notice one thing in the trailer that I feel like I got to point it out. Right? They show off two different suits for Captain America in the trailer: a red, white, and blue suit with some different wings. And for those of you that don't know the plot, essentially they found adamantium, and that is America and Japan fighting over the.
It was Tiamat, right? Tiamat's
yes.
adamantium. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes. So from the previous movies, his suit is made from vibranium, and you kind of see this transition. My thought process is that they revealed the second suit during that trailer, and it's kind of subtle. You don't really notice it, but he comes down and lands really hard, and the CGI is kind of weird. The wings are too fluid as they buckle in, and then his helmet kind of has the nanotechnology and kind of dissolves back to the back of his head, but his goggles are still on.
Which you can't do with adamantium, right? Adamantium has never been nanotech. The only one that
Correct.
you could do is vibranium, right? And like
Vibranium,
I know that's probably
yes.
getting too far into it because it's the movies, right? And they're going to be different, but that was the whole point of vibranium, is that it absorbs vibration, it's really strong, and it can
And
be used in nanotech.
redisperses that energy back into the character, which is why you see like when Black Panther lands hard, he doesn't take damage. He absorbs it and allows it. Yes, it adds power back to his suit, so he can redistribute that energy back into a punch or a kick or whatever. Built for speed essentially. That's why this suit is so tight and so
my problem is that like, so here's why I don't think it's going to do well, right? Is that, and Disney is really bad about doing this, is that basically what they did is they took, and don't get me wrong, they did it better this time, right? And Nick, being a person of color, like, you get this, right? Is that instead of giving original stories to people of color, they basically, people of color wash a story that we've already had. I think that Falcon has earned his right to have his own movie. And that's the reason why I'm bucking this as much as I am. I love the fact that they're going to tie in Eternals, right? Because we've needed that. I love the fact that they had Harrison Ford and Red Hulk, right? Like, kind of, I think, either being a president or a senator. I think that's really kind of cool. Like, we didn't even know that they existed. I like all of that. My problem, though, is that Sam Wilson deserves his own movie as Falcon, right? As Falcon, not as 100%. Captain America. And
same as Winter Soldier. He got his own movie.
Right. 100%. And that's where I'm at on this, is that, like, I think it is almost inherent, like, and I love Disney, and you guys know I love Disney, but it's almost inherently racist to go the other way of not giving people of color their fair shot. I mean, like, look at one of the greatest animated movies of all time is Princess and the Frog. I do not care what anybody wants to say. It like, if you sit down and watch it, it was great, right? The music was good. It was culturally accurate, right? And it was a completely new story that they hadn't done with somebody that was whitewashed, right? And so when you start looking at all that, it was really good. Now, if you're not into the Southern Creole type music and, like, voodoo and everything else like that, that movie sucks, right? But like, if you like that kind of like period piece, it's really good. But my thing is on this one, and this is where I go back to, is that Marvel has just been missing after miss after miss, right? And I just feel like they are not going to do Sam Wilson and Anthony Mackie. Like, that's the other one too, is I love Anthony Mackie. He has done period pieces. He's done funny pieces. He's done action pieces. He is just a phenomenal actor and actually a phenomenal person too. Like, I know he plays like the hard guy, right? Like, go make me a sandwich, make daddy a sandwich, right? Like guy, but he's a really good actor and he deserves his own movie. And I just don't, I think doing this, I think was the wrong call personally. I think it was the wrong call.
And I think, like, you hit the nail on the head there. Disney has done this on every form of their platform. And that was like when Disney tied on to Marvel. I mean, like, I like that there's money behind it, so it gives them some more ability to do even more stuff. But I honestly feel like they were doing just fine the way they were. I mean, there was very few Marvel movies that kind of fell off and didn't really.
Where did they
hit the
tie
market.
in at though? Like where about? Like, don't give me phases, give me like movie, because I know you know all the phases, like phase 4 and blah blah blah.
I feel like as they started to transition into phase 2, that's when you started to see more of the like inclusive stuff. And like, I won't be shocked if at one point or another here, and this is probably going to be a hot take and hurt some people's feelings, I feel like at some point or another we're going to have a handicapped character that wasn't a handicapped character in the comic books. Like,
Yeah,
if
maybe.
we're going to do Marvel comics, let's keep them the comic. Like, I get that, like, there were black characters. Look at Black Panther. There were Asian characters. Look at,
Shang-Chi, like
Iron Fist. And yeah,
Iron
like all
Fist.
these, there's all
Luke
these
Cage, by
characters.
the way. Bring Luke Cage in a goddamn movie. Luke Cage
Right.
was amazing.
Hey, did you watch the
Falcon.
Luke Cage? Did you watch
Yeah,
the Luke Cage
loved the show.
series?
It was
Like,
great.
they did a great job. Like, there was a lot of those that were fantastic. I'm not really grasping in my head why it is that we feel like we have to
Well,
race swap characters, and they
don't
did
get
it
it
just
either.
recently with Snow White. They all the 7 dwarves in the Snow White trailer
And then
are
they made
CGI,
a
and it's
huge
terrible.
misstep on that one.
It's
They made a
terrible.
huge misstep on that one because then they hired regular size people, right, to play the dwarves and then turn right around and go, you know what? That was that was offensive. So let's take away like kind of the one shot for people who are smaller, right? Oz, give me the PC for what would I say?
Dwarf or little people
Smaller people? Does that work?
seems to
Yeah, I want to be sensitive to it. So like smaller people's like job, there was like a job available for 7 of them, maybe 8 depending on like the story, because like there was the one that got killed when they
And they were
originally
down to play those characters.
right.
There
And
were
then they
people
just
that
CGI'd.
wanted to play them. Yes, they just
They
took
should
it
have
away.
CGI'd
Why?
her, by the way. And then
Yeah.
real quick hot take on Snow White.
Kind of did.
Why is it every single movie with Snow White? We'll get back to Captain America, but like why is it every single movie that they have Snow White in, the evil stepmother is 10 times fucking hotter than Snow White, right? So like think about this. They had Charlize Theron, right? Theron and Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart played Snow White. Charlize Theron is not the fairest of them all. Are you serious right now? That's wild to me.
See, I feel like
Then you have Once
that's a
Upon a
personal
Time,
preference.
Snow White, bleh, gross, right? And then you have the mayor, which is the evil's stepmom. She's rad. And then on this one, you have Rachel Ziegler, right? Rachel Ziegler's pretty. She was great in Hunger Games. As a person, I don't like her, but I can divide up the person in the art, right? I divide your art in the way you are all the time, Nick. So I mean, like, I divide it all the time. But here's the thing: is that you went out. Who in the fuck casted this to get Gal Gadot as the evil stepmom? I'm sorry. Any movie that you have, Gal Gadot is 100% the fairest of them all. Period. I don't care who you are, especially more than Rachel Ziegler, right? Like, and if I have to hear that stupid Hunger Games song one more time, that's not sung by the first person and it's sung by her, it's horrible. But anyways, back to Captain America. I am going to give it a Oz, write this down. Get ready for this, right? Or clip it. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a fun movie, but I think it's going to suck. It's not going to have anything for you to be invested in, right? Like the big baddie is not going to have given anything to invest in. The greatest thing about this movie is going to be the Marvel action and the cutscenes, or the after the credit scenes.
See, and there's a small piece there I disagree with, because notoriously Marvel always has something hidden in the background. It's always something that you never see in the trailer. If you look really closely in 2 of those scenes, they actually show a character that's kind of dark and mysterious character that has a green tint to his skin. In the I think it was 2008 Hulk, Sam Stern used the Hulk serum to turn himself into what is believed to be the Leader, which was a mind control character in the Marvel universe. And from two of those still shots, if you look at the back of his head, there's a green tint to that character, and the head is misshapen. In one of those scenes, he's talking on the phone to somebody, making some ominous comments. I kind of wonder if there's going to be a third protagonist in that movie.
But again, though, the protagonist though doesn't play into the rest of the plans, though, right, Nick? I mean, like, it doesn't play into
I
Secret
think
Wars,
it
doesn't play into.
I think it does because Harrison Ford's character, being President Ross in this movie, had to have acquired that into his system. And in previous movies, when General Ross at the time had I believe it was like a heart transplant or a blood transfusion, something in a previous movie. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I wonder if when that serum was taken was in his system, not by his own choosing.
Well,
And
I would say if they do that, that would be better. But I don't have high hopes for this, right? I don't, and we'll see.
I'm kind of
what are you
50-50
going to
on
give
the
it?
fence.
What are you going to give it?
If I had to give it a pre ahead of time, just preemptive, I would probably say 6.5 to 7, somewhere in that ballpark. I think there's going to be enough substance there, and I believe enough that Anthony Mackie can make you feel like he belongs in that role. He's a great actor. I think people are familiar with him. I think the thing that you're going to see is a lot of the secondary characters and the characters in the background that don't really hold a ton of substance. That's where I get a little concerned, because how do you lead into the next movie and keep everybody engaged? I mean, I remember watching the end of Avengers, the very first Avengers, and all I could think about when I walked out of that movie was, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right.
Those initial phase one, I mean, every time I watched one of those, I could not wait for the next movie to come out. I was beyond excited. It was the only thing I talked about for weeks and months at a time. I was constantly looking up comic books to see what character maybe are they going to bring in, what villain is going to be here to start a war, and
watching all the leaks and stuff like that.
Yes, and it was so hard not to.
I agree.
Like, and I never really wanted to, but like, know, it's one of those things that you look at and you think to yourself, like that was, for me, that was like one of my New Year's resolutions this year, was to step back and start from the beginning and watch all of the Marvel movies start to finish.
You had New Year's resolutions?
In order.
Which order, though? And hold on real quick before we move on, because like I want to talk about some New Year's resolutions, because Bensky's ass ain't here anyways, because you know what it is. He didn't do his New Year's resolution, so F him real quick. But anyways, so Oz, real quick, what's your I know this is not your typical crime drama noir type fucking artsy fartsy movie, but what are you gonna give it what are you gonna pre-give it?
At this point, I have to say the early reports are not promising. I'm generally going to give it probably
I am not wrong on these things.
5.
Oh, you are just too fucking kind. It's because you've been watching too many goddamn Canada movies, bro, about thousands of beavers and shit like that. That's the issue.
Also,
input equals output
to
for
catch
Oz.
up, Julius Olna is the director we were looking for.
Oh, so it's not
so
Russo's.
It's not the Russos.
3.5 then. 3.5.
Ooh.
3.5, bro.
That
straight
that
up.
makes me a little bit concerned, but I guess why?
Be concerned.
Why are the Russos not?
Who cares?
The only movie I know that he directed was, I believe, Cloverfield Paradox.
And it was horrible.
Oh, that was terrible.
Horrible.
Oh, that movie was
horrible.
dog shit.
Actually, hold on. Oz, did you see it? Because I bet you probably like that shit.
No, I did not see that one.
Oh, thank God.
It was
Anyways,
so bad.
Nick, by the way, Oz likes to suggest movies about robots in the woods and fucking hundreds of beavers. By the way, that wild robot was not better than Shrek. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. I watched it. It was good.
Never said it was better than Shrek.
Bensky did, and
it was a good movie.
Okay, no, it was not better than Shrek. I'm sorry, it wasn't. No, not even close.
Never said
Wild
it.
Robot. Have you seen that yet, Nick? Cute movie to
I
watch
have
with your
not.
kids. Cute
Have
movie to
not.
watch with your kids, right? Cute movie to watch with your kids, but not better than Shrek. Like Bensky was trying to hype it up as like the greatest movie, like animated movie from DreamWorks ever, and I'm like, dude, like Secret Life of Pets was
Ugh.
better than that. I'm sorry,
N-
but anyways,
I,
okay. So New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution
yes.
is to watch them all. Now, are you watching them in order they dropped, chronological order, or are you watching them in chronological order based on the credit scenes?
So I would like to go in chronological order from how that how everything plays out. So the end of the movie, the movie that should have been directly after that. So, like looking at like
So you went
Infinity
like Cap,
War.
you went like Captain, right? So you
Yes.
went Captain America, Captain Marvel, right? Then you went Iron Man 1.
Yes.
Okay. Because I mean, technically, Guardians would be before that and then after that because it starts in the 70s, right? But
Yeah.
I got
So
you. Okay, I got you. I
yeah.
got you. So you went
And so
then.
I feel like going and rewatching all of them, because I feel like sometimes, because of how far back some of those movies have been now, like looking back at it, it's been a long time. And I feel like when you start going back and looking at those, you have a different perspective now than you did when those movies came out. And maybe you have a little more foresight into the mindset of that character and how they have grown and where they're coming from. And you
So
can
where are
kind of
you at?
see.
Where are you at in the
So
line?
we watched Iron Man 3.
Which makes way more sense now.
Yes, 100%.
Makes way
100%.
more sense. Not
Yes.
not enough to make it not one of the top 3 worst Marvel movies ever made, but
Um, the
it
Iron
makes
Man
more sense.
franchise is definitely low on the totem pole for sure. I
Really,
feel like
one has got to be like one of my top favorite Marvel movies of all time. Like Iron Man 1
um
was so good.
it was, and I feel like if you're an Iron Man fan, the Iron Man movies are always going to, like, if you don't have another Marvel character that you're super familiar with, the Iron Man, because that's what brought everybody in and made them like jump on it hard, right? Like I feel like going back and watching the 3 Iron Man movies now, I feel like number 1 has got to be probably the best one because it's what sucked everybody in. I enjoyed 2 a ton.
Me too, but
3,
I think where 2 has a special place in my heart is that I think that is the greatest intro to a Marvel movie of all time with Shoot the Thrill, and he lands in the middle of the Stark Expo. I think it's great. But
yes.
real quick, so what's the worst movie you've seen so far up to Iron Man 3?
Um,
Say
I
some stupid shit. I swear to God. Like, I feel like Oz, I feel like because he's thinking about it, so that means he's going to say some stupid shit. I already know this. Like, go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Uh,
don't love the Captain America movies.
I mean, Captain America 1 sucks, right? But are you about to
I
say
just
that you don't think Winter Soldier is a good movie, bro? Get
I
the
think it was
fuck out of here. Are you
I
serious?
think it
Where do we get these guest hosts? God
I think
dang.
it has a place there, but it's just
A
not my favorite. He
place.
was never a character that I loved. It was never a character I
Oh
felt
my
attached
God.
to.
Winter Soldier is like easily one of the most cinematic, greatest Marvel movies of all time.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Oh my
And
God. Your
here's
guys'
here's
hate for
where
Captain
here's where I
America is
have the
wild to me.
biggest here's where I have the biggest problem with that character in general. The Winter Soldier is nothing more than Captain America with a prosthetic. Like
Except for
he
he
wouldn't
has
even
like a whole
his
backstory of him
his
being
arm
used.
would be useless if it wasn't made out of vibranium because of Black Panther.
Oh my God, dude. Seriously. Okay, hold on.
He could
The
it could get
reason
wet. It
why
could get wet in
Winter
the
Soldier,
dishwasher and not
he
work.
was a POW, dude. Do you hate like America and do you hate the soldiers? Like, what the fuck?
I,
Like, here's the thing. First of all, Oz, we got to be better at vetting people. Like, seriously, ask a goddamn question instead of just getting somebody on this podcast. 1, 2. No, I'm joking. I love you,
How
Nick.
quickly we have moved from
God.
best friend to mortal enemy.
Good Lord.
but
No, but like
but my
he was a soldier.
problem.
He was like captured by Hydra, right, Nick? He was, but he's Bucky Barnes. I mean, like think about him as Bucky Barnes instead of Winter Soldier, right? Like Winter Soldier is a standalone baddie. I get it, right? Like I get where you're coming with this. But if you think about the nuance of his story and everything else like that and him coming back, and then it creates Captain America's like nuance of like, I want to be good, but I know I have to be bad in order to protect my friend, right? Like,
But But this is where Bensky's right in a way that Captain America is selfish, because the only thing he cares about is that friendship with Bucky.
Well, but he
He's not
also said though,
concerned.
like when Vision was going to sacrifice himself, he said that we don't do this on this team. And like, so realistically, he was doing the same thing with Bucky, because Bucky was mind controlled. And don't get me wrong, I know the whole Stark side of it too, right? Because Iron Man, Iron Man's my favorite character, because I mean, you made me an Iron Man mask and I cried about it, right? And like, so I was like, oh my God. Anyways, short of the story, like, it doesn't matter if you're under mind control or not, he still killed, Tony's parents, right? But at the same time, but you almost have to think of it as like two people though, right?
Kind of in a way, like it's two characters essentially, right? But I just feel like all they did was rinse and repeat. They took Captain America and they said, what makes Captain America different if he's the bad guy for a little bit? And when they stepped away, they were like, hey, let's hack his arm off and then let's make him a Russian spy.
But
like,
couldn't the same be said about Black Panther too? I mean, at that point, I mean, he was given his powers by Flower. But you know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for the vibranium suit, he would have got jacked up. I mean, like, if Killmonger, like, think about Black Panther. If Killmonger would have, like, instead of just being about himself, just finished the job, T'Challa would have been gone. I mean, like, Killmonger whooped his ass straight up until he got his suit back, right?
Yeah.
But like, as a normal person, T'Challa was kind of a punk bitch. I mean, to be honest with you, he got his ass whooped by Killmonger. U.S. Special Forces, by the way. There we go. I just want to point that out.
I feel like every character, that's the Marvel universe, right? Every character has a weakness, whether you're Iron Man or not. I mean, what's Iron Man's weakness? Think about it, right? You lose the suit. What do you have? Aside from billionaire philanthropist playboy?
Yeah.
Like, when you take away what makes those characters super, I feel like it puts a different perspective on a lot of the movies. If you take away look at Captain America, for instance. If you take away the test tube that made him Captain America, what is he? He's a scrawny little boy from Brooklyn.
Kid that dove on a grenade, which, by the way, fun fact, instant Medal of Honor winner if you dive on a grenade. By the way, even if it goes off or it doesn't, instant Medal of Honor winner.
So you're saying it was just a selfish ploy to get a medal? Maybe.
But I'm not a huge fan of Captain America either. I'm a huge fan of the Russos, and I'm a huge fan of the storytelling in Winter Soldier. I think that if you take, and I know that makes the movie, right? Like, the characters, but like, if you set the characters aside for a second, that movie stood on its own. It, like, you didn't have to watch you didn't have to watch post. You could watch that movie. I could show my wife that movie that's not really big into comics, and she would love it because it's just beginning, start, and end, right? I believed in the protagonist. I believed in, like, it made me want to see a resolve to it. So overall, I think that Winter Soldier was personally one of the best Marvel movies as far as a movie goes. The most entertaining, I'm going to say, is Ragnarok. You haven't got there yet, but Ragnarok was probably my most entertaining, besides possibly Guardians. I think Guardians was a perfect run. But anyways,
I think Guardians takes more of the amplifies the fun of the Marvel universe to me.
It's entertaining.
I don't feel like it was much more entertaining, in my opinion. They're some of my favorites in the Marvel universe. Thor Ragnarok, I feel like, was high on my tier of, like, I actually really liked the Thor movies. Thor was not my favorite character as a kid.
Me either.
To me, it just seemed like a weird character.
Controlled white Taika Waititi is amazing. Uncontrolled Taika Waititi is too much. It's too much. Like, Love and Thunder could have been perfect. But anyways, okay. Yeah. So Oz, real quick, what's your favorite Marvel movie? Watch this. He's gonna say some kind of, like, it's gonna be something fucking crazy, like, oh, I liked Moon Knight episode 3 when they did, like, what? Here we go. What's your favorite Marvel?
Definitely not Moon Knight. I would have to say Shang-Chi.
Hey,
I enjoyed that one.
That's a good, but you know what though? For the type of movies and shit that he watched, like, I know you don't listen to the podcast, Nick, but like, because you're a terrible friend when it comes to that. No, I'm joking.
Oh, I do.
I'm glad to have you on.
I usually put it on in the background just so I can fall asleep most of the time, but
yeah, usually when Bensky's talking, for sure.
I could pick Thor Ragnarok.
No, Shang-Chi is good. I think Shang-Chi is good. I think it, like, explained a lot, and I think that was you had you didn't have an overwhelming amount of like B characters that like came into that. So you only had Wong and you had Abomination. I think that was perfect. So I think Shang-Chi is up there for me. I mean, it's definitely not my top 3, but
I
it's up there.
I love that they bring in some of the characters that aren't super familiar to people, and
Yeah.
I think that's big in the franchise. They're not always going to get the standalone movie or whatever, but I really feel like bringing some of those characters that were just comic book characters that didn't have a huge run. I mean, I there's a ton of other characters I think that could come into the Marvel universe that we will probably see in the future, because there's a lot. I feel
Yeah.
like they have a lot more planned out than they tell us about. I really
Well,
do.
I'm definitely not looking forward to the Thunderbolts either, but we'll discuss that another day.
Ugh.
But so my New Year's resolution, obviously from the video that I did and being sick, Nick, didn't go well. And by the way, remind me when I start to do a half cropped shirt. And Oz, just make sure to remind me of this. Oz is like my moral compass. He's like my Jiminy Cricket, if you will, if you like Disney. Don't do half shirt videos sitting down. It makes it look 10 times worse. Oh my God. I look like a hairy fat guy and I weigh like 180 and I'm 6'1", right? Like it shouldn't have been that way. It shouldn't have been that way. But like I like rewatched that video and I was like, oh my God, as soon as my wife sees this, the moment my wife sees this, she's just going to clown me and she's going to say something in the comments and it's going to be terrible, right? Like, and I deserve every second of it, by the way. Deserve every second of it. But so obviously not going super well by Six Pack by Remurf, right? Oz, that's what it was. Six pack.
Yes, but I still have hope for you.
I'm
I
gonna
can
do.
bring a 6-pack.
You know, trust me. Like my 6-pack will be gone after Remurf because there is an all-you-can-eat barbecue joint there, and like, yeah, we're hitting that up. You got to be careful. We got to protect the kidney, but like, you got to be a little bit careful of an all-you-can-eat.
I'll be fine.
Joint.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I'll be
we're
fine.
going hard.
Yeah,
We're
no, we're
going
good.
hard. But anyways, okay, so yeah, so that's your New Year's resolution. I want you're going to come back on. But my other New Year's resolution was that, and we're already kind of currently in this, Oz, right? Like Bensky couldn't make it tonight, so instead of not recording, we recorded with a guest speaker. And Nick, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much. I mean, like, just know when you come on this, we're boys, but then we're going to banter back and forth. But I love you. I love your opinions, and I love the fact that you love the things that you love. But we are going to start a new section, and tell me what you think about this. And I want honest opinion. We are going to take life questions from people throughout the weeks, the 2 weeks, and we are going to do our best to answer them. And Bensky and I can't even answer questions in our own life, so I think it's going to be hilarious for us to answer questions for other people's lives. I think it's going to be like what was that? Like
I
Dear
like it.
Abby? Like a Dear Abby, but
Yes.
Dear Bensky and Brady? Yeah, I think it's going to be hilarious.
I love it. Yeah, I love that. And you could even like branch that out and do like have a third person just for answering the question. Bring them on just to answer the question.
But do you know what
step out.
pops in my mind for that is Jack, our friend Jack, and I just
loose
worry.
cannon.
I worry it's going to be like somebody's going to be like, "Hey, I haven't like me and my wife haven't been intimate in 6 months," and he's just going to be like, "Well, yeah, you're going to have to come to the grips with that. You'll never satisfy a woman ever again." And I have some friends that can help you out, but you can watch, I guess. Like that, it's going to be horrible. And like, I think the other thing too is, I think that we need to do number one. I think we need to do a group of us, the 3 Deers group, right? I think Remurf would be perfect for that. Oz, I know you're not going, but you're going to send your boy. Like,
Asylum
could we
will be
do?
there.
What's up?
Asylum will be there.
Right. Yeah. So we could do. Could we do a 3 Deer podcast at Remurf?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think we can make that work.
The only problem is I don't know.
I hear he's driving, so he might be able to carry some extra equipment.
Well, I mean, I live in the state, so I can bring up some shit too, right? But like, and Nick basically lives in the state. He just lives in Colorado Light.
I'm 3 hours away. I'm not that far.
He lives in Colorado Light. He has to come to Colorado to go to Micro Center, by the way, which is wild. But anyways, so I think we're going to do that too. So I think we have a few things coming up, but I think like the only thing I'm going to be bummed if Josh can't make it, because I definitely need Josh Dork Vader. But one last thing I want to talk about before we go is that I want to give a plug to a very special person that is my 2025 Watch of the Year. You were my 2024 beginning of the year. Josh Dork Vader was my 2024 end of the year, right? And I'm going to tell you this person is going to make it huge. Danger Prince, bro. Danger Prince on
Oh.
TikTok is
Oh.
one of my favorite creators of all time.
Okay. Did you see her video of the on and off button?
No.
I think she posted it today. Oh my god, I've never laughed so hard. It, instead of like the button saying on and off like it should, like she's talking about the fans on the printer and
Yes,
the
it
lights.
says on and then it says no.
And no. Yes.
Yes.
What
I
the fuck
love
is
it.
that? I want
Dude,
that on my printers. I want it to just say no. Nope.
I love her so much. Now, here's the thing though. Answer me this. And I'm just wondering if I'm being Oz, have you seen Danger Prince's videos? No? Okay, I'm gonna send you a link because I want you to tell me if I'm being crazy. But I think that I need to send her a mic.
Oh, yes.
Her audio is terrible.
I definitely, again, I revert right back to this every single time. The game changer for me in the quality of my content was my mic, 100%. And
So-
anybody that I get into that conversation with, before you buy a camera, before you buy any lighting, before you do anything else, get a good quality mic.
So Oz, I have a small rig. I have the small rig, like little buttons. Those would be okay to send her,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Like they're pretty good, right? Or
They'll
should
be
I just
fine.
go out and buy like a mic mini and a RX for it? I don't really like the mic minis. I'm gonna be honest. I loved them. I don't really like them. I'm gonna be truthful. They're tinny.
I told you.
I know you did.
I told you.
God damn it, you did. You did. You did. You told
Imagine
me, and
not
they are
listening
tinny. To
every
Oz.
time.
Right, but the problem is that, like, dude, you don't know. Like, you've only been a group chat with Oz today. You don't know about the things that he says, and then I have to put it into Chat GPT and then tell it to explain it to me like I was 12 years old.
Look, me and Oz are part of a group on Discord that I believe you're part of as well. And if you just showed up to the meetings,
No, I don't do that.
we could just, I mean, you could see that we talk a lot. It's,
I know, but this is what
it's
you
a
get.
thing.
This is
We
what
bring
you get.
in,
We can meet today. It don't matter. This is what you get. And
sometimes you just got to show up.
My pants, bro. I'm the entertainment. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I made it to the last one, by the way. I just want to let you guys know. I'm busy.
Sure.
I'm busy.
Yeah, well,
and who the fuck
and I
has the
get it.
meeting, by the way? Who the fuck has the meeting during the Super Bowl? Anybody? Like, come on. Like, it
Probably
was like
the best
People who
content
want to
creator group
succeed.
on the planet.
during the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. I'm just saying.
It's
Anyways,
not like
hey,
we didn't even need to watch it. It was a blowout.
Nick, it was a blowout. But
It was.
anyways,
It was disappointing, really.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you for saving Bensky's ass. I do miss Bensky, but I mean, like, I had fun tonight. Like, this was cool. And remember that I want everybody listening to know that this is not just a Brady podcast. This is not just a Bensky podcast. This is not just an Oz podcast, even though everybody fucking thinks it is. This is a basically us podcast that involves everyone. So we are going to continue to have people on. And Nick, thank you so much for being on here. And dude, it was great. It was great to have you on. You came last minute, and I feel like you just knocked it out of the park. So thank you for coming on. But we're gonna close this one up. And so thank you guys for listening to the Basically Us. Oh my God, let's do a take two. Ready? Okay, we're not cutting this because it's fucking live, right? Anyways, thank you for thank you for watching the Basically Us podcast, where the conversation never ends.
And never stop questioning everything.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate it. Thank you, Oz.
Thank you for joining us for Basically Us. We are glad you enjoyed the show and hope to see you next time when Bensky says, see you next time.